Hey guys, how you guys doing today? My name is Kelly and this is my YouTube channel. So, I am doing the challenge that is in our group All Things Creative, which you can search for on Facebook, All Things Creative. And I will do my best to remember to put it in the link in the about section below, in the description box rather. Annie had put up 2 challenges. One challenge for this week is anything but a journal page. And the colors are blue, and then you can use black and white with it if you choose. And then her other one was spring. So I thought I would start with spring first. And what I'm going to do is this is just my very, you could see I did my drawings of, I'm going to use her in a painting actually, but this is just a sketchbook from Strathmore. It's not even a mixed media book. I'm using it as an art journal. I adjusted the pages. I'm not too concerned if the pages aren't, not fully dry with the gesso because I'm using blue and the different shades of blue would be fantastic. So I'm taking off, which I should have done probably before I went to do this, but I'm taking off the safety seal blue. I got it in my Art Snacks box. And it's just a regular blue. It's called Cobalt Blue. And you can get this in folk art, ceramic coats. And I'm just going to kind of like dab on. You know when you take these off and you got like all that extra color on there and you're like, I don't want to waste it because I hate wasting. And I'm just going to dab that on like that. And then probably just wipe my hands. You can get that in folk art, ceramic coats. Oh, crap. There's so many different brands of paint nowadays. AC Moore has their own brand, and I just totally lost the name of it, as well as Michael's. You can use them. They are fantastic. It's whatever you can get. I always say go buy the rainbow, Roy G. Biv, black and white. That's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, black, and white. And with all those colors, you can then, I just wet my brush. I'm just using this brush. And I'm just kind of seeing what I get off of there. I'm going to wet it a little bit. Now, I already have gesso down, but I'm kind of just going for a sky look. So I know the gesso is still a little bit wet, and I'm not really going to worry about it. And I'm not going to cover the page behind it. Because it is my sketchbook and it's my playbook, just going to do, I was going to do a canvas, and I thought, well, let me just do an art journal page. And you can see this one was a little drier than the other side, and I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to bring it down because I'm going to add some more. I like the texture of the swirls, so I'll just bring this over here. And what's funny is I gessoed this side first and it's coming up later. So I know that these are kind of, I'm just going to kind of go through there. But for those of you who are just starting out with mixed media or are disabled like I am and or money is very, very tight and very hard, take a paper towel or your paint rag or whatever and just dab it. And if you need it to be a little bit more wet because mine's a little dry, just spray a little bit of water on it. It's not going to hurt nothing. I always say go by the Roy G. Biv. I say that in a lot of my videos. Like I said, it's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then black and white. Because from all those colors, you can then get all your other colors. So, you know, you don't have to, everybody wants all the different pinks and blues and, you know, all that kind of thing. But to start out, you can just mix the colors together, you know. You can look it up, you know, using red and white makes pink. And blue and red makes purple, although you will have a purple if you buy it. But if you need to save another couple bucks, use your red and blue and make your own purple and don't buy purple. Yellow, you know, I mean, you can take your green and make it 3 shades lighter with your regular green. And maybe I'll do a video on that one day to show you guys, but it's the best way, I think, to just go buy folk art or ceramic coat or whatever craft paint that they might even have on sale. As AC Moore, Michaels, and Joann's, and Hobby Lobby always have paint on sale, craft paints. And like I said, you can really go for under $10. And $10 is, you know, maybe even a little bit more than you would even spend. But you can definitely get your colors. I'm just going to squirt a little bit of this blue right here. But that's definitely how you can get your colors and start playing and just having a ball without spending a fortune. So I'm going to just take a brush and I'm just going to kind of pat it on. I'm not going to worry. I'm just going to make a sky. I'm just going to bring some deepness in here. We're going to do the same thing. And if you want to bring it lower, bring it lower. Lower it, baby. Look over here. I know it needs a little bit more. And I'm just going to put my brush and just lower it. And you'll see why. Now I'm just going to take my spray and run it over. And that's why you kind of want to draw a little bit in between if you're using a thinner paper. This is just sketchbook where I would just sit and draw like faces and stuff for my paintings. I do suggest, and I hate to give suggestions that make you feel like you have to go out and buy different paper. You can use printer paper as well. But when you're doing a mixed media painting, a lot of the ways that I do it is, now my last one that I'm working on now, which I'll be finishing up, is, and I'm just kind of going in and mixing it, and I'm going to do that. You know, I painted on, and I always give it a twist when I'm doing it, because it just gives it some motion. And if it's dry, too dry, just wet it, squirt, give it another little squirt. It's really not a big deal, because we're going to do some clouds on it later, but I want that to be dry. And get your fork out of the way. It's not a fork I ate off of, it's a fork I did texture with. Yeah. Okay. So we're just getting some texture. And it's harder when you know you're by this part, especially on the back page. Now, I could have only done one page. I didn't have to do two. I don't know why I did two, but who knows why I do anything. So now I'm going to take some green. And this is just Folk Art Kelly Green. How appropriate. I'm going to shake it up. Okay, let me just explain something very quickly. This is very, very thin paper. It's sketch paper. Very cheap to buy. This is a sketchbook. This is from Strathmore. Every brand has it. Michaels has a brand, whatever. And I draw in it. So when I go to put this, I'll erase her hair like I always do. But when I go put this face on a painting that I'm going to do, okay, it makes it thinner so it doesn't stick out as far as watercolor paper would, or, Lord only knows what I've been drawing in here. But it makes it so it doesn't, I'm sorry if that was blurry, I wasn't even looking. It makes it so that the paper doesn't stick out far from the canvas or the paper that I'm using. And I'm just going to squirt this green on, just using the green. And go and take my big brush, kind of draw it for a second, and then go on. And meet it up at the horizon, so to say. And I'm sorry if you hear some Iron Maiden in the background. My husband and daughter got the albums on, or I don't know what the heck they got on. But it's Iron Maiden. They are obsessed. We are obsessed with records. We are obsessed with vinyl, and these two I can't let go out on their own because they come back $80, $100, and these are, some albums are $2 a piece. They came back the one day and about had a heart attack, and they brought me maybe 3, none of which I want. I mean, I mean, they brought me Stevie Nicks, they brought me old Bob Seger, and I forget who the other one was. I'm like, where's my Doors? Where's my Janis Joplin? He's like, I'm not spending $14 on an album. Because apparently those ones are expensive. But anyway, so if you can hear that, I apologize. I don't know. I always say that, and then when I watch like my recording back, I never can hear it, but I can sure hear it in here. As a matter of fact, I had been calling. I'm having a hard time moving, walking. And I was calling my husband because I had to pee so bad. I know, way too much information. However, I'm calling him and yelling his name, and they can't hear me because I don't know who the hell they had on at the time. You know, and then I wobble out to go to the bathroom because I waited so long because I'm going to pee my pants. And then he's like, what are you doing? Why didn't you just call me? Really? How about I just punch you in? We'll just stop there. Okay. So I got me some red and green. Now you can see up here, this kind of blended and it came out. And I'm not too worried about it. I can take my brush and I can kind of move this green up here a little bit more if I want, if it bugs me, or if it bugs you. Not much bugs me. People bug me more than my paint not doing what I want, but as a matter of fact, my husband and daughter are bugging me. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that go. I'm going to hit it with my heat gun. Well, that rag's going to be needing wash one more time. So yeah, so like I said, for people, I get so many questions about, I'm just going to draw in the green here, get most of it dry. And because this paper is so thin with the paint, it's going to soak it in, and it's not going to take long to dry, even if you don't have a, this is a heat gun. If you don't have a heat gun, use your hair dryer. It's just as good. Believe me. I have a heat gun because I like to emboss, but you can just use your hair dryer. Same thing, if not better, because it doesn't give off as much heat and bubble up. So I'm just going to give that a second. So again, like I said, red, orange, yellow, green. I'm all over the place. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, black, and white is your list. Go to the store. If you have to cut out a color, cut out purple. You can make it with red and blue. And you are on your way to a great, a great start for acrylic paint. Now, this is a piece of black cardstock. And what I did was cut out some die cuts. And these are actually cogs from Steampunk. But what I thought would be fun is I want to make over here the sun. And I'm going to use the big cog for that. Oh, yeah. Did I say cog? I did. Yes, I did. I didn't say the word you think I said, please. Okay? Okay. And I just need to find my, Lord, the stuff. I have stuff everywhere. I'm in the middle of dropping stuff. I'm in the middle of doing a package for somebody. I'm in the middle of trying to clean my room. I'm in the middle of trying to do 20 million things at once. And I think that you all might understand what that's like. Whether you're a mother and you homeschool and you have 30 million things to do and homeschool your kids. What the heck is that right there? Oh, didn't even know that existed. Or you are like me and have 20 million projects in your head. And I'm just going in with my paintbrush for the molding paste. I'm not going to sit and worry about a scraper right now. And I'm going to hold it down and I'm going to kind of just put it in the middle. You're going to hear my daughter yelling. Lord only knows when my daughter's yelling. Why does an 18-year-old yell? Just for the hell of it. Exactly. And I'm going to scrape this on. I went underneath there, but I'm not going to worry about it. Just going to kind of scrape it on. I just want a little texture. I'm not going to worry too much. I do know I went underneath that one coggy thing. But ain't life a bitch. All right, and lift it up, off. Lift it off. Okay. Now, that's going to be my sun. And we're going to clean it up. But what I'm going to do on my paper here is just kind of take the tool I used and scrape off the rest of that for now. And you can see I got some on here, and I'm going to scrape it off because I'm going to use it for my other things that we're going to do in a minute, but I don't want that to stick. Oh, Cat Stevens is on now. Okay. So that's my sun, and I'm going to clean it up in a moment, but right now I'm going to put two little cute little flowers here. And this is just, again, see, I got to hold it. It's called having control of your hands, which I have none. The RA has control of my hands, as well as the fibro, as well as everything else. So I'm just going to do it. I don't need it to be very thick, but I want it to have some sort of, you know, just a little bit of something sticking out. And then I'll do this little baby flower over here and hold it down and just run it. You can kind of see where it's going to stick up. And just run it over. And then lift it up. And that's good for the flowers. And I might do, I don't think it leaked through. I wonder if I do, just do like a, let's try to without messing anything else up, a flower here. Okay. And lift it up. And that's not too bad. It's texture. I'm not going to worry about it. And again, I'm going to scrape because I'm cheap. I'm a cheap-ass crafter. Sorry. But money doesn't grow on trees for me. It seems like the trees take my money. Somebody does. It just never ends up in my account. And I will clean this off. You can see where that's at. And I just clean it up. Because I will use it again. And with molding paste, honestly, you paint over it. So if it has a little tint of something on it, I don't care. And I'll just set that somewhere to dry. And that molding paste or gel medium or whatever you've used will just help that stencil get harder the more you use it. Oh, Kelly, keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut. Okay. So that goes in there. Let's put our molding paste away for the memento. And I'm going to take, and I'm going to just kind of clean this up for a minute. Kind of scrape that extra off. And kind of give it a little bit more of a, so it's a little bit more structured. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'll just take this down here in the green, wipe it off in here, because I put my stuff away prematurely. My God, what is wrong with me today? Okay. Everything went away prematurely. Let's do some texture. Let's just take a little bit of this. Let's just touch it in like that. That's a little bit much. Just this much. Let's go into our green. Seems like the sun's moving outside, not staying. And I'm just going to kind of go like this, because we're just going to add some this up and down. And if you have a big clump, scrape it off and kind of just touch it very lightly, because we just want that texture, because we'll go over it a little bit more with the green. And the same over here. That's okay. Your paper comes with, you know, up and down with it. It's okay. If you have too much, just kind of, if you have a better way of doing this and you're like, she's crazy, this works better, do it, please. It is all you. Because right now, it is all me. I just want that texture to be grassy. And kind of pointy. And what I want to do is I kind of want to dip the edge in just a little bit like that. And kind of like, and this might not work. I might have to do something else, but I just want some like grass in here. Like grass blades, kind of. I don't know if it's going to do what I want it to do. But who knows? And if it does, then yay me. If it doesn't, then it ain't no big whoop. because we're just playing and having some fun. Okay, so I think I've scraped and used and all that fun stuff. Okay, so you shall go away. Now, we shall leave things dry, shall we? Well, we'll hit it with the heat gun. Let's get my little eraser out of there. Never know about an eraser. It might be multiple. I don't know. I really am not somebody who likes to dry molding paste. I don't think it does it justice. But, you know, because I'm on video and we're at 20 minutes and I don't want you sitting here for 2 hours. Not that molding paste takes that long, but I'm going to run this over to dry it. I more want to dry these flowers. And they're thin, so they'll dry fast. And this is kind of where your hair dryer, rather than your heat gun, would be more better to use. Because the heat gun is going to cook, so to say, the molding paste. You want to kind of keep it far away. Where your, if you put your hair dryer on medium or cool, you got that neat cool button, you know, you're going to dry. You're not going to make it bubble up and see, because it's already bubbling up right there. Because it gets too hot. For the molding paste, we just want it to dry. And like I said, I really don't want the sun to bubble, but I want it to dry. Now let me see if I can dry underneath of it. Let's see, it's kind of went through and glued. I didn't put my protection. Always use protection. Okay? That is a public service announcement. A PSA from Kelly at Knitting and Things. Use protection. All right, and I'm just gonna, we're gonna go with it. I'm not gonna keep you here forever. Oh, although I would like to, because I want to do my other, I have so many things I want to do today with art, because I don't feel well and all I want to do is art. I don't know if you guys get like that, but that's how I feel. I feel very arty. All right, so I'm going to take my brush. I'm going to dry it. I'm going to take a little bit of my green, and this is what color? Kelly green. Full heart. Give it a shake. Shake it, shake it, shake it. I'm going to screw the lid off because I like to screw the lid off. See? I'm going to just put my brush in there because I like to take the paint from the brush. I mean, from the lid. I do that all the time. Anyway, as you guys know who have followed me, and I'm going to kind of lightly stroke over the molding paste. I call it molding paste. People call it modeling paste. Look, whatever floats your boat. I've been calling it molding paste forever. Somebody told me that Golden's is named molding paste. Mine is Liquitex. I believe it's modeling paste, but I call it molding paste. Texture paste, some people call it. I guess like nobody can have the same name. I don't know. I call it molding paste, and that's what I'm sticking it at, keeping it at. Now, if you need a little bit more, you can dip your brush in, and I just use this as my palette. You can squirt out on your palette, of course. It's not going to hurt nothing. It's just the way I like to do it, because I think I have more control, because when I squirt onto a palette, or onto my craft sheets or brown paint, whatever you have down as your base that you squirt onto your paint, I tend to way over squirt. So unless I'm doing something where I know I need a lot of paint, I won't squirt. I will just dab in the lid, and if I need more, I will dab into the bottle, kind of take it off on the lid, and bring it in. I, of course, big dilemma. Sunday night Game of Thrones starts, my favorite thing. Also, Vikings, I've not watched yet for this week, so I don't want to hear anything about that. Because I've not watched it yet. I'm going to watch it tonight. But I, however, did watch Hannibal, and I will not discuss Hannibal for those who have it DVR'd or have not watched it yet, because I don't like doing that, because there is nothing worse than not getting to watch a show and then seeing everybody spoiling it on Facebook. That is when I wish I could jump out of the, or through the computer screen rather, and maybe perhaps strangle somebody. Okay, so I got my molding paste, texture paste, whatever you guys call it. You know what I'm talking about. Basically covered. If you see a few pieces once it starts drawing, you just go over it. It's just to add some depth and some like texture, because you know, when you go out and look at grass, it's not all flat. You got, you know, especially when I cut it, sometimes I miss a strip. It's like the airplane strip in the grass in the yard. Which I haven't cut grass in a long time, but I'm just saying. I've had my moments. Okay, so putting the lid back on the Kelly Green folk art color. Love folk art. I love me some folk art and ceramic coat. Not gonna lie. Alright, so I'm rinsing my brush, Now, what I shall do is decide what colors am I going to do my flowers. Well, I want some bright colors, and I have my alizarin crimson sitting right here, so why not? I can hear my daughter out there talking. Probably, what album can we buy next, Daddy? Alright, and I'm just going to go in. Now, my brush is a little bit wet still from not completely drying off, and I'm just going to wet it a little bit more because I want it to kind of spread. And these little things, I probably should have picked a smaller brush. And maybe if you do something like this, you will pick a smaller brush. But I didn't. You can use a marker to color on these. You can use colored pencils. Once your molding paste is dry, you can do whatever your little heart desires. But I like it because of the texture, and I'm going to put a little middle in there. And I'll go around and make that stick out a little bit more. So, let me get a smaller brush. Okay, smaller brush, where are you? Let's try you. Now, what color? Sun's going to be yellow, so we don't want that. So what about orange? I'll just paint out of the lid any color orange you have. Does not matter. I'll do this textured orange. And perfection is not what I'm going for. I am just painting, having fun. And I like the orange. And I think what I might do really quickly is take some yellow and pop it on here. And it's just yellow. Nothing fancy. And I have my brush, I have orange on my brush, and I think I might mix it. Oh, I had a lot of orange on my brush. But mix it with that yellow in there. And then when I go on to do my other flower, which I could always use this color because it's a lighter orange. It's like a yellow orange. I can go in with some yellow to highlight, if that makes sense. Because maybe it's getting to be dark and it's like a sunset kind of thing. I don't know. I didn't realize I had so much orange on there, but that happens, doesn't it, sometimes? Sometimes we think, hey, this is a great idea, and then other times, once we do it, we're like, what the heck happened? So let's go and do this one, this color. And I'll paint that and paint that. Smaller brush would have been wise, but we're going to kind of doodle around it in a sense. And then I think I'm going to take some of this and just do like the middle part like this. And kind of dab it like so it kind of gives it a little bit of depth in the middle. Yeah, I think so. Then what I think I'm going to do is take my bigger brush, just get some of that water off, and I'm going to go in here and I'm going to scrape up all that extra paint, as you can see. Okay, and I'm going to go to a page back here. See, that's what I thought it was going to do on this sun, but it didn't. That would have been the sun color I was going for. How you like me now? But I'm going to put this in between, so hopefully it doesn't touch and dry. I'm going to wet my brush a little bit more and see if I can lift any more of that up. Okay, I'm going to take my rag that definitely needs wash now and dab and dab. Yeah, okay. We're getting there. Yeah. All right. Now we know blue and yellow make green, but what I'm going to do, and hope that my water is not too dirty, and it very well could be because I have very dirty water right now, I'm just going to go above because my blue acrylic's dry. And I'm going to try to clean up around this sun with just water, if that makes sense. Because my blue acrylic's dry, but I want to get that yellow orange that kind of ran on my blue off. And this is a really cool trick because, like I said, you know your blue is acrylic and it's permanent. That's if you're using acrylic paint. If you're using watercolor paint, you're not able to do this. Is it the end of the world? No. Got some green there because my rag is dirty. It's a dirty rag. But you can definitely go and clean up if your paint's still wet anywhere. I'm not worrying about my flowers. I'm good with that. I'm good with the sun. The sun will need a little bit more yellow on it. And I will do that, but I'm going to do it through the cap to where I have more control because apparently my control is not well. But it'll highlight. Oh, it squirted a little bit from Monet. It'll highlight with that darker color, the orange underneath, and I like that. And then you can just go touch up and stay on point. But never, you know, that's why I try to dry things in between. Because when you're using acrylic, it is like magic getting it off if you do get it on a bottom layer that's already dry. At least for me. That's what I do. Otherwise, I would just always be a hot mess throwing things away. And sometimes you just got to embrace stuff that happens. I mean, these flowers, I'm going to embrace what happens. I got to do another coat over that. Magenta color, but, you know, I'm not some, you know, in my art journal, it's where you have fun and play. Oh my God, it's 30 minutes now. 30 minutes. But it's just something fun to do. And if you don't have these stencils, don't worry about it. Take your molding paste. We've made molding paste. We've made fiber paste. And just brush on with your brush a flower shape and color it, you know, paint it in with the molding paste, and you're good to go. Same thing. You see, it's nothing special. I just did it because it was sitting there. And I'm going to take a little bit more of my yellow. And I'm going to dab it. Kind of just dab like little seedy things. Yes, I'm seedy. Just so when it dries, there's a lot of orange on there. But, and then up here, I'm just going to kind of push my brush down a little bit more, a little bit harder, to get some of that yellow and darker orange in there. And even when that's dry, I might go in and touch it up with a little bit of yellow. Who the heck knows? Nobody knows. Okay, and now I'm going to go in a little bit more with my alizarin crimson. I'm just going to get a little bit on my brush and go in. Molding paste does suck in paint, remember. So if you're getting sucked in, like this alizarin crimson was, don't hate, appreciate, just go over it again. Start with a circle. Plus we're using thinner paper and the molding paste does suck in color. You can gesso it if you want. I think it's easier just to do it this way. And I think I'm going to give this black dots in here, but I'm going to hit this with the heat gun for a minute. Especially that middle part. I think over here too. Okay. And I'm just going to pat it in. Like we're using a brush. And you can see because it's warmer because I just used the heat gun, or whether you use your hair dryer, it doesn't matter. We got it. And I'm going to just do a little dabs in here for a little bit of color, and a little dab we'll do it in here. And I think once that dries, I'll put a middle in there. Now I'm going to check to make sure we're good here. Are we dry? Yep, we're dry. Okay. So, don't really have anything over here, and I'm not real sure why. But I think what I'm going to do is, my daughter had this brush. I'm going to tell you where to get the best. This is a Low Cornell Soft Comfort brush. And I had a bunch of these, and I don't know where they went. But I did find one when my daughter brought the art container that she took from me. Like she made like herself an art container. I got these at Joann's. And they have this wonderful, comfort jelly grip. Now you can buy like pencil grips or make them with the rainbow loom thing or whatever. But I love these because with arthritis and RA and fibro and everything else, they are really wonderful. And I love their nylon, but I love these tips. So when I found it, I was like, oh, I can't believe it. But I can't find any of the other ones I bought. I have one here that is a round one. This is a filbert. And it has the same thing, but I got them at Joann's, and every time I go back, I look, and they're always sold out. So if anybody sees these, let me know, because these really work well with my RA. Okay, what was I going to do? So maybe over here, I will do, I don't know, something odd. I'm going to take some brown. I don't know how this is going to work, but sometimes you just got to go with it. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to paint a house, like one of the little folky art houses that I did in one of the paintings I did. Remember where we did the papers, and I know a lot of you guys did it along with me, maybe a couple months ago. And then I know what we'll do. Okay, so then he needs. I don't want to add brown over here. But I'm good with the texture coming through there. I also use way more brown than I chose. So we're going to just mix this page up. This is going to be a fun one to do. Maybe one day we'll do yellow and browns. And this will be the beginning of my art page. And I'll do something with this. Okay, back to letting it dry for a momento. Rinsing the brush. And then I'm going to take some Distress Stickles Walnut Stain. Now I'm just going to go and draw this on. And kind of throw a little bit in there, and then I'll paint it in. Dry off my brush a little bit and then just pull up where I got that as a gift. I think that's one of the ones. Yeah, I never would have, yeah. Even though I use it a lot. And I don't care that it's going to dry and it's not going to be poofy or it's going to show a little bit through. It's a weathered little thing. And I'm going to pull some down here for the door. So once this is dry, I'm actually pulling some of the paint off. I can put some down here for the door. See what I'm saying? And I'm going to give it a round door. That's right. My choice. My door. I'm going to rinse off my brush and go in one more time to pull off a little bit more of that brown. It's already drying. Dry my brush the best I can to pull up the rest of that. Yep. Good. And then just take my rag with my finger, touch it in there. And there we go. Oh my God, this rag is a mess. If I could show you guys this rag. It's been loved today. All right, so now I'm going to kind of go in. It's a dark color, but I'm not worrying about it. I just want it to be like poofy. And I'm going to leave it poofy and leave that and put a little knob. And that's the little fun door. But it doesn't have no windows because I don't have any windows. Now, something I'm going to do is use my puffy paint. Remember, I made the puffy paint a few videos back. I'm going to give it a shake down. And I'm just going to do these little dots. Dot, 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 dot. We're just going to make these little, cute little. And over here, maybe we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're just going to kind of. I could have shaken it a little bit more. Hands hurting. Don't feel like shaking. But what I'm going to do with these bad boys are just going to kind of pull down and make it look like a bouquet, like wildflowers. And I'll add some different colors in. So I'm just going to pull these down. And these are kind of running too. I didn't shake it. Always shake your puffy paint before you do it. But it's still going to dry cool. And just put like all these marks in with it. Because when you look at wildflowers, there's so many things. And then we can go in with some purples and yellows on the back of our paint brushes on top. So just kind of run it. And then I'll put a few up here. Just little dots in the background so it looks like they're far away. Just not even squeezing it, just kind of touching it. Okay, and I'm going to do some here. And I don't have another color made, or I would use my other color. These are going to kind of be far away because you're not going to be able to see them. And I think I'm just going to do something fancy here, like this. Just a little there. A few little pink dots, because I love pink and orange and yellow. All right. And then I'm going to kind of do the same thing here, except kind of do bigger dots. I could have done a tree, but how much time am I going to spend on here? You hear me scraping. And if you make puffy paint and don't have a squeeze bottle, use your paintbrush. You're still going to get puff and texture. You see what I'm saying to you? And these are just a bunch of wildflowers down here. It's your painting. Make it whatever way you want. If you don't want to do this, just do what we're going to do next, and I'll show you. Doesn't matter how thick or whatever. It's just the point of having them. Okay. Like I said, I'm just kind of pulling through. Not worrying about it. Because you want to look at it and have that kind of like, oh wow, like all the flowers. And we're going to add yellow and we're going to add purple. And do some here, just little. And you can even have them go up on the house. Doesn't matter. You're in your art journal. You're not, this isn't going up to, you know, this is called having fun and just sitting and being and mindlessly having fun. Okay? Okay. So we have this. Now, let's say I'm going to draw it with my gun for a minute. Or your hair dryer, remember. I just want to get the bulk of these, more of the flowers than anything. Because I'm going in with another color. And they're still puffy. So I don't want to draw them too much because I don't want to destroy the properties of them being puffy. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with a bit of orange. What I'm going to do is take orange in my cap. This can be whatever color you want. Take the back of a paintbrush. Whatever paintbrush you have sitting around. Go like this. And then start dabbing. See how we're doing? We're just adding more color. Add it on the pink. Doesn't matter. These are wildflowers. And if you dab in the pink and it makes it a mark, who cares? Add just little bits up here of the color. It doesn't matter. You could do 20 different colors because you know how I love wildflowers. I love taking pictures of them. I love going out and you know, doing photography in the spring and in the summer and even in the fall. I guess all seasons really. But you know, when you look at a great field of flowers and they have all these beautiful, and this is just an easy way to get, it's more of an abstract way to look at it rather than us doing flower after flower after flower. But you're getting the idea of what, you know, you're looking at, just a bunch of flowers, like the tops of flowers. And don't worry, I didn't forget the stems. I'm going to do the stems. I'm just giving that a second to dry. I'm going to, now you can change the different sizes that you use of your paintbrush also. I'm not, but you can. Ain't nobody going to tell you different. How about a little bit of blue? This is just blue. Dipping it in. Go light. Just, you know, maybe you don't want a lot of blue. Maybe blue's not your favorite color of a flower. And just dab in. And they don't have to be perfectly circle or anything else. It's the idea of that when you look at this, this is a bunch of flowers. And it's kind of just putting your tip of your brush in and just kind of, you know, the back of your brush and just kind of dip, you know, going over the colors that are there. You're just adding more texture and more to see. Okay. Now, I'm going to stop because I'm not going to keep you here forever while I sit and dab. However, I have a little bit more on the back of my brush here. Very abstract, very have fun. You can do, yeah, add yellow. You can add purple. You can add white. You can add pink. You can continue on with colors. So like there's barely green showing through, but you have all these beautiful wildflowers showing through. Okay? So keep that in mind. Now we're going to do the stem. So the stems, I'm going to take a smaller brush. Dry it off out of my water. And take it on the brush. Now you might want darker stem than this, you might not. And I'm just going to take it down. Because this is a fantasy page. It's not, I'm not sitting here doing like, oh, look how I do flowers. I'm just doing a fantasy page. And then you can add your leaves if you want. Okay, and then you can kind of blend it in. You can go back in to, which technically I probably would have done the stems first. However, it's me. But what I will do is, because I have my puffy paint sitting here, I'm just going to go in and kind of give a squeeze and kind of blend them in a little bit so you just can't see that I put them on there. That's all. So it kind of looks, you know, what's of. Okay. So now what I would do, and I'm not, you know, everything's kind of still a little bit wet and everything, but I'm not going to sit and waste your time doing this either. You can take I got these in these are charcoal. I got them in my art snacks box. I'm going to see how these work doing this, but you can use your regular pencil, you can use markers, and I'm going to do that as well. So let's go around this real quick. I kind of just want to trace. So it stands out. And that green is still wet. Let's see if we can get going here. Alright, I just don't want that to break. Yeah, that's more for sketching. I just smeared my green because why not? But you can see what I'm trying to do here. Let's do, I can't reach my Faber-Castell ones. Poop is the word I want to say. But where's my China marker? The Sharpie China marker that is like the best thing that I ever found in my life at the AC Moore, and it was $1 or something. I got this in black and white, and then somebody sent it to me in yellow. Angie's Antics sent it to me in yellow and blue, I believe. So I'm in love with these. I'm going to be doing a giveaway, and I might grab black and white in these to give away because I love these. And then you just kind of go in and smear with your hands, and you kind of want it to be dry, not like I'm doing with the green and everything's kind of still wet. But you want to kind of give it God, everything's still a little bit wet. You kind of want to give it an outline. And you can outline it with a darker orange. You can outline it with whatever you want. I just like, it's kind of hard with wet paint still, but can you see that? Let's see if we can do this. I'm just going to follow close as I can, you know, just kind of like outlining it in a sense. And you can use a marker too. Use a watercolor marker or Sharpie or whatever, and then like use a Q-tip and blend it. Because you want it to kind of stand out. You want it to be like that folk arty. And see, then I go back and I kind of rub. It's still a little wet. And I just love the way it makes it pop off. It's kind of hard because it's still wet. I do apologize, but my name's Kelly and I don't have patience. Let me see if I have. Let's see. Let's see if this will work. This is a pen. It's not gonna. Yeah, that's not gonna. Now you can definitely go around it with a pen, but it's not gonna give me what I want. You know what I mean? I kind of want that smudgy kind of. Now, if you wet it, it will. I really just dig. Like I said, I dig a pencil. Let's see. I dig a drawing pencil. Works well. This is a drawing pencil. I dig a charcoal pencil. I dig, I mean, all that works. So if you have a charcoal pencil or Just a number 2 pencil. Go for it. And like I said, my stuff's kind of still wet. You kind of want to wait till it's dry. And then you just kind of go in and smear with a Q-tip or your finger. It doesn't matter. It just makes it like pop out. Can you see that? I just love it. I just freaking love it. I can't stand it. I could sit here all day and do this. Like I said, remember, it's folky. This isn't like something you're like putting in for the Bob Ross or My Flowers very realistic. This is just a page that we're doing. So anyway, I'm not going to bore you another minute. I'll sit and play with this myself. I love running it over the edges just to give it like that look. I know, I'm crazy. I say, oh yeah, I'm done, but then I go and I just continue because I love it. I love doing art, but it kind of just gives over the edges that little bit of pop, you know. And if you want, do it on the sun. If you want the sun to pop out some, let's just try it right here, just so you can see what I'm talking about. I'll just do this little bit right here, and then go in with your finger and run it over. And you see how it kind of like pops it out? Oh my God, I just smushed a flower. I think it's time for me to say, hey, guess what? I'm done. This was my spring page. And my spring page basically is, I want some freaking sun. I want some flowers. I can't wait to plant my flowers. All my wildflowers. This is my little, I don't know, like my little eco house that we want to live in. I want it a little bigger than that. But however, and this is all it is. This is all you guys got to do. So in All Things Creative, those who haven't done it yet, try it. Those who have done it, I love them. I probably commented on everybody who has done it. I love them. I love seeing everybody's art. So if you're interested, please join our group All Things Creative. I'll put the link below. Do a journal page. It's spring is the theme right now. And you know, just do something that reminds you of spring. It could be one big flower. It could be whatever. The next thing is anything but a journal page, and it has to be blue, and you can use it with the colors black and white. So that'll be the next video I do for the group. I think weekly Annie puts up a new challenge. I'm not completely positive, but I can't recall right now. I just wanted to get this done because I've been dying to do it, and so I sat here and did it. So that is my spring page. And I can go on and on and on and on. One thing I do want to try, and somebody asked me this, and this will help. This is the Liquitex acrylic water-based paint pen. And I wonder if a Sharpie would be just as well. It does write. The paint's not dry, so excuse me, as I rip my paint off my page. And then I gotta clean it, because if you don't clean your pens when you're writing on acrylic. Now, I was gonna put some clouds in. I can go in with this and add a little bit of clouds. You can use your paintbrush. Yeah, I'm a smudger. I like to smudge. But you can do whatever you want. Here's a cloud. Oh, look at the friendly cloud. And then I just go in and kind of smudge. But you can also use a white Sharpie pen, paint pen, whatever. But this is my friendly... I can't believe I just dug in my wet paint. See, that's me. And then she's going to do worse, and she's just going to put white paint all over. But anyway, I love playing. I love getting dirty. This is my spring page, All Things Creative. I'll put the link below. I hope you guys come and join us. Join in all the fun. The ATC swap for April is underway. I will be mentioning the when the May one is up. So if you want to join it, you have to join All Things Creative. And come do the spring journal page. And the other one is anything but a journal page using the color blue. And you can also use the colors black and white with that. So that is a lot of fun. And I hope to see you guys in the group. thank you guys so much, and be kind to each other. You never know what battle somebody else is fighting, and peace be with you, man, if you sat here for an hour with me, because I just... All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.